Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the WODcast podcast. I am your host. I am your host. I am Eddie Ifft. I am here to talk to you about, we talk about everything here at the WODcast. WOD, meaning workout of the day, was primarily a CrossFit word, even though the show has morphed into a lot more than that. Strength, conditioning, health, fitness, nutrition, a lot of stuff CrossFit encompasses and encompasses well. I think there's no better place to get it. I do a podcast today with the CEO / owner of CrossFit, Eric Roza. He is the new owner since the recently departed Greg Glassman. This show might seem like I kiss his ass a lot, which is not in. Maybe we've become a we. I got to stop saying we. It's me. Maybe I've been a bit ass kissy lately. Maybe I'm not cynical, but I'm coming from a place of I'm being grateful. I'm thankful. I think the CrossFit has made some incredible strides in the last year. I like to make fun of everything. It's difficult to sit and make fun of a CEO, guy who's achieved a lot more than I have. I would like to, but I just wasn't a dick. I was very nice to him. I think he's done a great job. So if you're going to criticize me for being an ass kisser, go ahead. But I think I asked some important questions. Was it my best interview? No. I blame me. I wish I had more time with him, but the guy is super busy. And I just hope you enjoy it. I hope I asked some of the questions that you liked. If you like our show, the best way to contribute, there's two ways. One, you can give to the Patreon. Patreon.com/WODcastPodcast or WODcastPodcast.com/Patreon. And I don't think there's a better Patreon out there. I really don't, because you're going to get 4 episodes regularly for free. You're going to get a 5th episode with the Patreon. 5th episodes are usually done with somebody more comedy-oriented or more into the sports that I'm into, mountain biking, skiing, surfing, things like that. It could be just like a mountain climber, whatever it is. I've had a surfer. I've had Hunter and Bobby on one of the episodes. I had a guy talking about drugs on one of them. So they're different. People have been enjoying them, but it's the 5th episode. Also, you get put in a drawing. And when I just go look at how many people are in the Patreon, we've got a ton of listeners to the show, not a ton of Patreons. And if you donate, you have a good chance of winning a Myopux and a Leopard Claw. Myopux is the premier electronic muscle stimulator on the market. The Leopard Claw is an awesome multi-tool device that you use to scrape your adhesions. Both of these are incredible rehab tools that you should have in your arsenal. I can't tell you how good they are, and they're worth together about $450. You donate $5 a month, there's a good chance you're going to get one of these. Okay? Anybody out there that has not received theirs, I think Troy is up to date on all of you. Send me an email at wodcastpodcast@yahoo.com. I will forward it over to Troy and make sure you get yours immediately. This week, the winner, Nick Hall. Congratulations. You got yourself a Myopux and a Leopard Claw. That's Nick Hall. Send us a message at wodcastpodcast@yahoo.com, and I will get that right out to you, and you can start fixing any kind of problems you have. Other stuff. Got some cool guests coming up. This one, very proud to have had him on the show. He's done a few podcasts, though. That was my one complaint. It was like, if you're going to do a podcast and you're in the CrossFit space, maybe you should come to me first, you know? I don't know. Just being a dick. What else? What else do I want to talk about? I have dates. I have comedy. Somebody just wanted to hire me for a corporate gig, one of our sponsors. I'm going to do that, probably. Going to try to make that happen. You know who you are. Let's negotiate. Let's make it happen. Gyms. You want me to come to your gym? I'll do a show there. I'm going to a lot of different cities in my upcoming tour. I am going to be in, it's endless. I start in Ventura. I go to Kansas City. I go to Atlanta. From Atlanta, I go to, do you want to hear them all? I think you do. I think you're like, yeah, tell me, Eddie, where are they? And I'm like, all right, you know what? I don't usually do this, but I'm going to give you every single one of my dates. I'm going to be in Kansas City. I said that. Atlanta, Georgia. Sunnyvale, California. That's up in San Jose. Las Vegas, Nevada. San Diego, California. Plano, Texas. That's like Dallas. Los Angeles, California. Wilmington, North Carolina. Naples, Florida. Key West, Florida. Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Los Angeles, California. I said that, but again, back there again. Reno, Nevada. Wasilla, Alaska. Anchorage, Alaska. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Scottsdale, Arizona. Ketchum, Idaho. Bozeman, Montana. Vancouver, British Columbia. I'm going to be at all these places. I'm talking with a bunch of others too, so they will be added dates. Go to eddyiff.com, see where I am. You can have me at your gym. I swear to you. Let's say I'm in Vancouver, and you're like, let's have them in and do a show at our gym. Pack the place. We'll work out a deal. I'll split it with you. Okay? You can charge your members. I'll do a show for you. I promise. I'll do lots of CrossFit jokes. All right? And I'll say the shit that I can't say on here. But I won't say it if people are recording me. Okay. So that's the deal. Those are my dates. eddyiff.com. Check out my Instagram at eddyiff. Twitter at eddyiff. Facebook eddyiff. We have WODcast Twitter, WODcast Facebook, WODcast Instagram. Check those all out too. I want to talk to you about our sponsors. Hunter's Academy of Strength, which is the programming I use. Hunter claims no one is signing up from this. I do not believe it. If you have signed up, let me know. Say, hey, I'm using Hunter's programming, because he says like 3 people have signed up, and I doubt that. His programming's unbelievable. Go to huntersacademyofstrength.com, and you can sign up for his programming. He's got all kinds of programming for professional CrossFit, for his dumb racing that he does, ABC for if you do calisthenics and don't have weights around you. He's got Look Good Naked for bodybuilding. He's got incredible knowledge, and the guy has performed. He's going to win the national championships in High Rocks probably this week. So if you want to know how he does it, it's there. The checkout, you're going to get half off, 50% off your first time. Okay? First month. 50% off. Put in WODcast 2021. WODcast 2021. And if you bought it, send me a message. Go, yeah, I got his training. I want to know. You can find me on all those social media platforms. At Eddie Ifft on Instagram is probably the best. Okay, let's move forward. I want to talk to you about not just nutrition, but probably the best nutrition out there that I've been using for over a year now. I've been going to Eat the 80. I haven't been going to them. They've been coming to me. That's right. I get delicious prepared meals delivered to my door with Eat the 80. They've got healthy meal plans. They're preservative-free, all-natural protein, gluten-free, farm-to-table fresh. Every week there's new options. The flavor is amazing. I can't talk to you about how good it is. It's not too spicy, nothing crazy, nothing weird. Your basic macros that you need, your protein, your carbs, your fat, amazing. It's Whole30 approved. They keep about 30 dishes on the menu at a time, so there's enough meals that you're never going to get bored. They also have add-ons, because that a lot of times people are like, well, I want more food because I want more calories. Then get the potato salad, get the grilled chicken, get the gluten-free brownies. And here's the best part. If you sign up, you can pause at any time. Say you want to take a week off and like, I'm going out of town. Well, then just pause it. They send you a lot of stuff to make sure it's cold when you get it, but it's all recyclable. It takes 2.5 minutes in the microwave. 2.5 minutes, okay? And I swear to God, it's the best tasting meal subscription out there, at least the best that I've tasted. That's the number one thing people compliment in their reviews. And like I said, it's Whole30 approved. They've got paleo options, vegetarian, keto, macro balance. And it only takes 2.5 to 3 minutes, like I said, in the microwave. All the animal proteins ethically sourced. And this is something they always want to emphasize, that I have just trust them so much because I've talked to them. Their kitchen hygiene is highly regulated, okay? So you don't have to worry about it. It's all frozen the right way. They ship these things perfectly, and especially during COVID, everything's vacuum sealed for freshness. It's amazing. And they've got an affiliate program where you can quickly earn free meals for yourself or your membership trainees. You're going to get $1.40 for meal, like $1.40 every time someone signs up. You're going to get an order if they use your promo code. So basically, once 10 people order a box of meals, you'll get a free box of meals yourself. And the rewards are unlimited. So get enough people signed up and you can eat. You earn cash. You just eat for free all the time. Okay, so here's what I want you to do. Go to eatthE80.com and order these. And if you want to, go to info@eatthE80.com to sign up for your own personal affiliate code. All right? They'll send you business cards. You can give them to all your clients. Then they order it. They use your code. You're going to get free food. All right? But get yourself some food. EatthE80.com. That's eatthE80.com. EatthE80.com. Now, let's get the show started with the new CEO of CrossFit International, Eric Roza.
This meeting is being recorded.
Isn't that creepy how Zoom tells you that now?
Yeah.
It really is. It's like the Big Brother is watching you right now. You are being recorded, everything you do in life.
You ever say no?
No, it's like all those websites you go on that are like, hey, we're retaining your cookies. Do you mind? And you're like, I don't know. I don't want you.
It adds so much value to accept 100 times a day an extra click. It adds so much value to my life. I used to work in that industry, and you're just, my background was in advertising technology before CrossFit, and we can get into why that would have any relevance at all. I don't know if I can defend that too much, but when that went into place, you were just like, is this going to add value to people's lives to just continuously say accept, 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 accept? It just doesn't.
Well, we all live in this marketing world and this age where marketing is everything. And there's a Bill Hicks joke that I love that I think everybody should always watch. It's on YouTube. If you just Google Bill Hicks, who is a famous comedian from Texas who died too young. And, he was pre-Dennis Leary. He was a little bit like Lenny Bruce. But he used to have a joke about marketing that was so funny. He used to be like, if you're in marketing, kill yourself. And it was just like, kill yourself, kill yourself, kill yourself. He's like, no joke. I know you marketing people think I'm going for an angle. But and he goes on to go off on marketing and advertising. And at the end of it, you're like, yeah, we're all in that world now. We're all advertising. We're all marketing ourselves, our businesses, our lifestyle.
There was a great article in an advertising trade publication like 10 years ago, and these guys basically captured all the ads they were shown over the course of the journalists did over the course of a week or something, and just like laid out how irrelevant almost all of them were. And the title of the article was, if this is ad targeting, it's the advertisers who are in trouble, not the consumers. It still sucks, you're on LinkedIn, you get offered some job for somebody right out of college or whatever. You're like, huh? You got so much about me. This is the best you got.
My first foray into the entertainment business was through doing like an actor in commercials. And when I was doing stand-up, agents said, hey, you want to make some money? This is how you do it. You go out on these auditions. And I remember going, I'm not going to do this. Like, I'm not going to sell out. And then my first job was I was did all the promos for Shark Week. And it was more money than I had ever seen in my whole life. And I was like, I'll do this. I'll do this right now. Where? What time? How do I get there? And I sold out it took me 5 seconds and I sold out. Yeah. So we're all there. And actually, saying that, it's funny because CrossFit is this world of like, it's not the affiliate world is not so much advertising, but it's marketing. I have so much to ask you about that, but I really want to get to, I know a lot about you just from everybody getting into your life, but I do want to know, like, I know you're a Michigan guy, and I'm staying right now in a Michigan alumni's house
nice.
Who played on the Rose Bowl team, it's my father-in-law.
Okay. Wow.
And you have a similar interest in him too. He's got downstairs in the basement, there are about 20 guitars.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, he has one of Bruce Springsteen's originals.
Wow.
He's got...
I've never gotten into I could though, but I've never gotten into like the collecting other people, like celebrities' guitars, but I could. Like it appeals to me. It'd be a cool thing. I was just at an event and someone was like, Eddie Vedder keeps a guitar in the back room here.
I'm the same way about surfing. Like, I love to surf, and people would be like, there's a Kelly Slater board, and I'm like, is it one that I can ride? Or is it one that I can look at? Because I don't want to look at it. I just want to ride.
That's where I was. That's where Eddie Vedder's guitar was at Kelly Slater's surf ranch.
Oh, okay.
Lemoore, California. So I was at an event that took place at the surf ranch.
Did you get to surf the wave?
I did, but when you say the wave, there are 3 waves, and I surf the baby wave because I'm not much of a surfer.
Right. But they can tell you, and my buddies are the Sea-Doo riders or the jet ski riders up there, and so
sweet, they're very service oriented. They're great at not making you feel like an idiot when you are a little bit of a surf spaz. Like, they didn't make me feel that way.
That's pretty cool. And you now are among the list of people I know, the multiple people who have surfed the wave, and I have not.
There were some I was at this, it was like a tech CEO kind of event that I was invited to, and I assumed it would be a bunch of people who surfed every year or two like me, once for 2 hours and maybe caught one wave, right? So you're not getting any reps in really of doing it right. And I would say half of the people there, 3/4 of them, were, from my standpoint, were like, oh my God, do you do anything? Have you done anything other than surfed in your life? Like, it was a pretty humbling group. And I kept having in my head, wait, the 100 words of CrossFit, regularly play new sports. I'm like, it's okay. This is a new sport. You don't have to be good at it.
Yeah, but you seem like a pretty good athlete that it would come pretty easy. I've seen like even Tom Brady, surf it. I'm friends with
even weak athletes like Tom Brady. Yeah,
like he's an amazing, but he just picked it up like that. I saw him like getting barreled, and I was like, oh my God, Tom Brady's getting barreled.
That's insane. Yeah.
I know Kelly through a lot of mutual friends and people in the surf world, and he's even sent me videos telling me I'm never surfing his wave. Like, he screws with me, and I just beg to go there all the time, and I haven't gotten.
Well, you have to go as you can only rent it out as a whole deal.
Right.
You got to get invited to do. Maybe you could get to this event I went to next year. I don't even know if I'll be invited back, but maybe you could do maybe you could do a routine or something. Maybe you stand up for a 40-minute set.
Well, I was invited to a birthday party on Tavarua, the island, that Kelly goes and throws his birthday party, and was all ready to go, and he broke his foot. He brings all his friends and family, and they do this party. And I don't know, between Tavarua and the surf ranch, it's that coveted to go to that ranch. I've surfed some wave pools before. In fact, a buddy of mine rented the Waco one. We're going next month.
I heard about that. I heard that's better for getting air.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah. So you go to Lemoore, California for barrels, and you go to Waco for air, I've heard.
Yeah.
But again, these are just concepts to me. I can't do any of that stuff.
It's hilarious that you went and did it, though. It's like going to play Augusta. So you played Augusta. And
it would be similarly inappropriate and embarrassing for me to play Augusta. That's a perfect metaphor for me, since I don't really play golf or surf.
Okay, so we do have something in common, though. I have a feeling you're a pretty good skier. I
ski a ton.
Okay, Matt Chan told me when I had Matt on the show, we were talking, and I love the CrossFitters that use CrossFit for other things.
Yeah.
I admire all the guys that are great at CrossFit, competitors. I think it's amazing, but to me, it's not a goal. I'm not my scope is not that limited, and I think it's amazing. Like a lot of the OGs, the Tommy Hackenbrooks, the Chris Spielers, the Chance have taken what they do here and just made it benefit their whole lives, and they're amazing at other sports because of it. And Matt Chan was like, "Yeah, I met Eric at the 10th Mountain Division Huts." And I'm like, "Really?" And I was like, "I love him. He's up there like backcountry, like touring." And he's like, "Yeah." So
and Matt that was crazy. I had never toured on skis before. And for people who don't know, right, you basically have a heel release on a downhill ski, so it feels like a cross country ski when you're going uphill. When you're going flat, it feels much slower than a cross-country ski because there's a skin on the synthetic skin on the bottom that keeps you from sliding backwards. And then when you're going downhill, you click in your heel, take the skin off, and you fly just like you're on downhill skis. So, and the technology has really evolved, so it's super fun to do. It actually really took off during COVID. But a buddy brought me up for the first time. This was about it's 2 or 3 years ago, and we get to this hut, and it was about 9 miles in, so it was fairly legit, right? It's slower than walking a lot of the time because you're going uphill and all that. And we get there, and I see this big dude who looks like a CrossFit guy, and then I see his wife, and they're both tatted up, and I'm like, these guys got to be CrossFitters. I'm like, oh, I think that's Matt Chan, and I start talking to them. And I don't know if he told you this, but they had just gone through an avalanche.
Wow.
I mean,
I don't think he mentioned
their group it was scary. They had a group of 5 or 6 people there, like a bigger than typical group. Maybe it was 4. And I believe it was their group. If not, it was another group in the hut. There were only a couple groups there. But they had just had an avalanche that was like life-threatening. Everybody made it out fine. No one got buried.
Yeah.
But the people were in full PTSD mode, a couple of the people there.
Yeah.
And this was my first experience. I've done backcountry on helicopters and snowcats, but I'd never done kind of the hut deal with skinning. And it just reminds you, this is real shit. Like you just...
Yeah, you're out there in the middle of nowhere. And I used to be a ski patrol, and
oh, nice.
And
Where'd you do that?
I was on the East Coast, so I didn't do any avalanche training.
Okay.
And when I got out west and started going and hanging out with some ski patrol, and they were showing me the howitzers and how they shoot the mountain and showing me how dangerous it is, I started. I was an idiot when I was younger and would go anywhere, ski out of bounds, everything. And I went,
yeah,
wow. Did you do any avalanche training before you went on that trip?
Afterwards, I took my level 1 avalanche class.
Did you do that down in Silverton?
I did. No, I did it in right near Vail. I think it's in Edwards. It's in Avon or Edwards, right next to Vail. But my rule is I never want to lead people in a backcountry trip. I want to know enough so that I can make a modest contribution to decision making, because it helps to have a few people talk about, how risky things are or whatever. And I want to be able to dig somebody out, find somebody and dig them out if there is an avalanche. But my general view is I'm not going to take any risks about, any known risks about an avalanche. Like if it's anything more than, kind of moderate danger levels, which it pretty much always is during ski season, I'm just not going to do it. And I want to go with somebody leading who is more knowledgeable, more organized, and more conservative than I am. Those are my 3 rules. Like I'm not going to go out there without someone who's not more knowledgeable, more organized, and more conservative than I am. Because, if you had somebody who's like more aggressive than I am, and less knowledgeable or less organized, we're fucked. Like that.
Yeah.
I'm just not gonna do that.
I don't want that responsibility. And I try to take calculated risks now in life, but I always get myself in situations where I'm like, I think I learned from COVID that nobody knows anything, And so when I used to put my trust in people, there have been times where I get somewhere and I'm like, oh my God, they were just bullshitting me. They don't know what they're doing.
Yeah,
I had this surf guide take me out in the Maldives, and he's like, oh man, it's great. It's going to be blah, blah, blah. And a storm whipped up, and we're out, off the coast of Sri Lanka. And I'm thinking, there's nothing from here to like Africa. And if we get swept out to sea, and I remember him saying, we're fine. The storms go around the island, blah, blah, blah. The storm's right on us. And it just can't. And I went, everybody's a liar, so you have to have a little bit more faith in yourself and be a little more suspicious of people when they say, yeah, you're fine.
Well,
Okay, what's it mean to get naked? It means, well, I do it a lot. I get naked every day. And not just stripping my clothes off. I get naked with naked protein. You know why I call it naked? Because that's the name of it. But I also know that they call it naked because it has no artificial additives. It has the fewest and purest ingredients, so you know exactly what's going on in your body. That's what Naked Nutrition offers. I was on the search for protein powder that had just whey protein in it. That's all I wanted. And then maybe a little bit of sweetness. But I didn't want all those ingredients that I didn't understand. I found Naked. Well, back in 2014, former college athlete, didn't understand how protein powders could be healthy. If you need a chemistry degree to read the ingredients list. So he started Naked Nutrition with 5 single ingredient supplements, like Naked Whey, which has only one ingredient, grass-fed whey, sourced from small California dairy farms. We all know why you're supposed to take and use grass-fed products. Well, here's a whey that is grass-fed. So it's packed with protein, and it tastes delicious too. Naked Nutrition also has 40 different products, including a wide range of protein powders, supplements, but their commitment to transparency and the fewest and purest ingredients remain the same. So if you're working towards a new 1-rep max, improving your burpees, hitting a new PR on the rowing machine, what you put in your body directly impacts how you feel and the results you get. This is a company I found. I directly sought them out. I started using their product. I trust it. I use it every single day. Giant box came today. Every single day, I let my children use it. I think it's excellent. My children love it. I make smoothies with them. I do a little bit of the chocolate whey. Not a little bit. I put a lot in there. I put a banana, some peanut butter, some ice, and some almond milk. And we have that smoothie almost every single day. So get naked. Use Naked Whey. Save 10% on your first order using WODcast code, which is WODcast10. You're going to get 10% off WODcast10 at nakednutrition.com. Again, that's code WODcast10 to save 10% at nakednutrition.com. Okay, so you go to nakednutrition.com and then you put in WODcast10 at checkout. Nakednutrition.com, WODcast10 at checkout. It's nutrition with nothing to hide.
Yeah, and people do, in all kinds of sports, skiing, surfing, etc. Like people do die with guides, right? Who presumably have done this a lot before. So I think, again, I want to try to have a nose for people who are going to have a certain level of conservatism and humility, because I do want to, there are areas where I want to push the envelope, and skiing certainly one. I think the notion of not taking existential risks, I think, increases as you get older, right? And as you have kids and all the rest of it. Like, I don't want to take a risk that I could die, but the reality is, does that mean I'm not going to do heli trips anymore skiing? No way. I'm going to be doing more and more heli trips.
Yeah.
Fewer,
you can't pass that up.
Hopefully in a thoughtful manner.
Did you grow up around skiing? Were you a Colorado born and raised?
No, not Colorado born and raised. Where I got my first real taste of skiing, my dad's French, and we actually lived for 4 years in France.
Oh, wow.
At different times, on and off through my childhood, and we lived in a city called Grenoble, which is in the French Alps, and it was actually the site of the 1968 Winter Olympics. So Grenoble itself is a valley, but it's surrounded by ski resorts. And, it's not far from Chamonix and stuff like that. It's about an hour from Geneva, about an hour from Lyon, France. So it's a university town, but it's surrounded by skiing. And so my parents weren't skiers. Otherwise, I'd be a lot better than I am now. But I would go up with friends. I'd, kind of beg friends of my parents or my friends in school to bring me up. And that's really where I learned to ski.
Yeah, I was a beggar too. We'd skip school every day and go up and in high school, and we would just became the youngest ski instructors on this mountain, and just that was it. I wasn't one of the rich kids that parents had a ski house that they went all the time and flew all over the world. And I had to really want it, which taught me about I have kids now, and with my kids wanting to do sports, I'm not going to be one of those trophy dads you do this and you do this and you do this. It's what do you want to do? Because I know the things that I loved, I pursued on my own as hard as I could. So
it's funny. I feel the same. And my parents didn't have a lot of money, but skiing was a lot cheaper then, especially in France. But I kind of gravitated I don't want to say away from skiing, but I did very little skiing in my late teens when I was back in the States and on the East Coast. And then when I got out of college, I was still on the East Coast. I was in New England, living in Boston, and I happened to be in an environment where a bunch of my friends were skiers and had, skied on the Dartmouth ski team and stuff like that. And I had to massively up my game, and I still suck at skiing on ice. Like I just don't like that East Coast stuff, right? I'll take the easiness of Colorado powder all day long over the machismo of the icy Vermont slopes or whatever.
Yeah.
But I had to really up my game then, and then I kind of stuck with it since then, since my 20s.
I grew up in a place called Pittsburgh, and there was a mountain called Seven Springs. It was 1,000 vertical feet.
Yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah,
an hour
my
away.
mountains were worse. I was Philadelphia boy, so we had Jack Frost and Big Boulder with like 400 feet of.
I used to race, so I went to those mountains to race.
Yeah,
and people
those are much worse than where you were skiing.
People always ask me too. They're like, "How'd you learn to ski in Pittsburgh?" And I'm always like, "We didn't ski. We ice skated down a hill, like ice skate, really."
Yeah.
So I didn't know you were a Philly guy. That my father-in-law that I am with right is a former Eagle. So
Wow.
yeah, he went from Michigan.
Yeah, so we got Philly, Michigan, and guitar playing in common. Sounds like a good guy.
Yeah, he's got a band. He's in the he's probably practicing in the basement right now. He's a crazy man. He's if you've ever seen the movie Invincible, he's the guy.
Yeah.
He's Mark Wahlberg's roommate in the movie. That character's based on him. So
Really?
Yeah. But he's a character. I've had him on the show many times. Fun guy. But so what was your athletics that got you? I mean, look, everybody knew as soon as you became the head of CrossFit, the CEO, it was like, hey, do you see this guy's Fran time? And it was like you were accepted immediately. And it was by none of your vision or anything else, but I feel like diehard CrossFitters, all of a sudden it was like, have you seen this guy's Fran time? Like, well, this guy's cool. It didn't matter what you were bringing to the table other than that. You were in. You were.
And I'm going to go on the record as saying that was my Fran time, not that is my Fran time.
Yeah.
Like I've hit that time within 4 seconds 3 different times, so I know that like that was legit.
So what is it now? What's your best?
I actually don't know what it is right. Oh, what it was 240.
That's really good.
So I hit 244 once, and then I hit 240 twice, or maybe it was the other way around. I hit 244 once and hit 240 twice. But I haven't actually probably done a normal. I did remember I did the friendly Fran during stage 1 of the games last year, which is a totally different workout. But I don't know that I've done kind of standard Fran in 4 years or something. I think the last time I did it, it was around 3, and my sense is it would be a little worse than that right now. But I don't even want to go there because I know there's all this scrutiny, so I can never do it again. I did just do Murph though again. I hadn't done that in a few years.
Did you do it with the vest?
I did vest, but I did it partition, which is the way I've done it most of the time is vest partitioning. Yeah.
I did it this year, and I did no vest, and I hadn't done a pull up in like 6 months, and I couldn't move my arms for a week.
Little localized rhabdo.
Oh, just the right at the bottom of the bicep was just.
Yeah. That's. I think that's usually rhabdo. Rhabdo-like, or
yeah, especially when you're not
rhabdo-ito, maybe we would call it. I don't know.
Yeah, but I always feel obligated to do it. And my buddy is Hunter McIntyre, who had the world record. Somebody claims to have beaten it this year.
What did he do it in?
He did it in 34:10, I believe, unpartitioned with the vest.
Unpartitioned.
Yeah, and if you asked Hunter,
it would take me a lot. I don't have a time unpartitioned. I haven't done that. I've done it. I've done strict pull-ups partitioned, but I haven't done unpartitioned.
Yeah, brutal. Yeah, so I think that was your in. I mean, that's a pretty awesome time too. I think I did a similar time my first time I ever did Fran, but I also didn't know what range of motion was. And so my squats were probably quarter squats, and my push-ups my thrusters were probably down to like quarter squats, and my pull-ups, it was just, I was like, this stuff's easy. CrossFit's easy. Then when I went to a CrossFit gym, and they were like, no, your chin has to get over the bar, and you have to go all the way down, and then and I was like, maybe I can do this in 10 minutes. So I've never done that one well. So you get the point for that. And then, do you still own your affiliate?
I do. Yeah, I co-own it with my ex-wife and
Okay.
good friend and co-parent Melissa, and she really runs the gym and has for a few years. So I work out there. I'm in there, when I'm in town almost every morning. I was in there this morning. I did this morning is one of the new girls, so I hadn't done any of them yet. I did Ellen for the
Oh,
first.
I've never done Ellen. What is
So
it?
Ellen is pretty cool. So you got two 50-pound dumbbells and you do 20 burpees, and then you do 21 alternating dumbbell snatches, and then you take both the dumbbells and do 12 thrusters, and you do that 3 times.
Sounds awful.
And so, yeah, it was interesting because I'm like, that's nice because those are nice short little bursts. But of course, there's no time to recuperate. And I forgot about that problem of doing burpees after 12 thrusters with two 50-pound dumbbells.
Right.
And so the first round of burpees was like 50 seconds or something. I didn't go all out, but I went reasonable pace. The second round was like 2 minutes and 10 seconds because I was out of juice from the thrusters, right? And so I hadn't really thought it through very well.
Do you
But
work?
it
Do you
was
work
fun.
out? Do you work out at your gym?
Yeah. I was there this morning. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And
And what's really cool is it's about a mile and a half from the new CrossFit home office in Boulder. So, when we have colleagues in town, like we'll have Gary Gaines, who leads our affiliate group, and Austin Maliolo, who you obviously know, who leads our U.S. field ops. They'll be in town. We're having dinner Thursday night, so I'm highly confident that either Thursday morning or Friday morning or both, we'll all be working out together. And it always really sucks when Austin's there because you're just like, this is, you're trying not to get lapped on the first round,
yeah, well, I interviewed him one time in Boston, and I just found like he is the most focused on CrossFit person I know. Like,
Yeah.
I tried to talk about anything else, and there was nothing. Like he is.
Yeah.
This guy.
I think he learned recently that he's got a daughter and stuff. I'm pretty sure.
I mean, everything was. I was like, so what do you do when you go home? He's like, I eat and then I go to sleep and think about getting up and doing CrossFit. It was. I've never seen a guy that is so focused on CrossFit. And it shows.
Have you ever had him coach you?
No, I have not.
Unbelievable. Yeah, he just coincidentally he did my level 1 and my level. No, he didn't do my level 2. Sorry, James Hobart did both. Austin did my level 1, which was 9 years ago, and he was a great coach then. And then recently we had a chief marketing officer candidate in town, and she had never done CrossFit before.
Wow.
And she's actually gonna be joining us, but I can't share her name yet.
Okay.
And Austin happened to be in town, so I took her in to work out, and it was like most of the time was spent on split jerks, which is just the movement you want to be focused on when you've never done CrossFit before,
Right.
And she's small, she's 5 foot tall, so it's like she's not like going to throw around a ton of weight out of the bat. And Austin basically, he's still got a workout in, but he basically decided to devote himself to coaching her one-on-one, even though there was a coach for the class.
Right.
And it was so cool. I'm like, this is a way to sell a candidate, is to have like literally one of the best coaches in the world giving her a private one-on-one on a super awkward movement that you've never seen before. It was really neat.
All right. I don't know if I've talked to all of you about how I don't drink coffee, but I love coffee. I love it. I love it. I love it. It just does not do well for me. Okay. So I've switched over to a coffee alternative. I use a thing called mud water. Mud water. And it's MUDWTR. It's a coffee alternative with 4 adaptogenic mushrooms, and I'm going to screw up this word, but Ayurvedic herbs. I said herbs like I live in England. They say herb instead of herbs. It's got 1/7 the caffeine as a cup of coffee. You get energy without the anxiety, jitters, or crash of coffee. I always got the jitters. I got lots of anxiety. I quit coffee. I don't get anxiety. This is what you want to switch to. Don't switch to decaf. You're not getting anything from decaf, and they rinse decaf with like chemicals. This mud water is excellent because each ingredient was added for a purpose. They have cacao and chai for mood and a microdose of caffeine. Lion's mane for alertness. That's right. I said lion's mane. Cordyceps are there to help support physical performance. And I hope it's chaga and reishi. Those are different mushrooms to support your immune system. Turmeric, which I said it right, most people say it wrong, for post-workout soreness. You guys know I'm a big proponent of turmeric. I take curcumin, which is the active ingredient in turmeric, every single day. I use it to really take care of the inflammation, and it's incredible. Those are all in mud water. And I forgot cinnamon for antioxidants. So it tastes delicious. It's Whole30 approved. It's 100% USDA organic. It's non-GMO. It's gluten-free. It's vegan. It's kosher certified. This stuff's healthy. It's going to give you the energy you need. Here's what you need to do. Visit Mudwater, which is MUDWTR, MUDWTR.com/WODcast. Support the show. Use the code WODcast to check out for $5 off. That's MUDWTR.com/WODcast. And use WODcast at checkout. You're going to get $5 off.
Well, I want to compliment CrossFit just to set the record straight. When I started doing this podcast was like 10 years ago, and we were kind of not an anti-CrossFit podcast, but we loved it, we did it, but we were comedians, a couple of us, and we were like, let's just make fun of how into this weird exercise world everyone is. And It was in its infancy, and there was craziness all over the place. And now, cut to 10 years later, I'm in a different CrossFit gym you guys should bring me in as a consultant. I'm in a different gym every week because I tour and I have to stop in. I've gone to CrossFits in Denmark, in India, all over the place. And I go in, and the level of coaching from where it was to where it is now is ridiculous how good it is. I was a college athlete, and the coaching, I ran track. I ran the 110 meter high hurdles, and the coaching in CrossFit is on another level of anything I've ever seen. And
that's awesome.
I am amazed.
I agree.
I am amazed by look, I had some great track coaches and stuff like that who, can add to anything, and it will make you faster and better. But just the all around level of coaching is ridiculous. Every gym I go into, I'm blown away by how this random guy in Ohio is teaching me stuff I haven't heard yet. I didn't know these cues. I didn't understand this, and he's pushing me through and making me do things I've never done. I got a compliment. I try to be cynical. I try to find the faults. I can't.
Yeah, well, that's really cool to hear. We know that. So we've got about 130,000 currently validated, currently credentialed trainers.
That's amazing.
And probably historically, those who have lapsed is probably another similar amount. So maybe, it's just unbelievable. Like 250,000 people have taken the L1 at some point over the last 20 years.
Wow.
And as you know, the L1 is fantastic, and it's 2 days. So you have, you really learn your craft kind of on the job from peers, from YouTube, from all of CrossFit's resources, and the level of commitment that that our best coaches have is, to your point, is like nothing you've ever seen. And let's face it, most of them didn't pursue this for the money, right? They're pursuing it out of love and wanting to impact people's lives and live a life that's authentically aligned with what they think is important. And this sounds cheesy, right? But it's a noble calling. Like, it's so friggin' cool. Because I was able to taste that as I coached a couple times at my gym or in the early days, but we needed to have good coaches at the gym. So I would never, we need people to do that for a living, right? But what I did keep doing during my tech career is coaching at industry events and at work where we had a CrossFit gym. And it was so fulfilling to impact people that way, right? To what a cool responsibility to shepherd over the best hour of someone's day if you get it right. Right. And so that's a lot of responsibility too.
Yeah, it is awesome. I was a personal trainer for like a week in New York, not a week, like a while when I first started at Equinox. And I was an awful trainer. I'd just put people on the treadmill, and then I'd go on an audition. I'd come back and I'd be like, yeah, you know what? That was today.
Come back with your coffee and donut.
Yeah,
A little faster, ma'am.
but when I did help people, it was, service to others. There's nothing better. And I did feel like, these people being overweight, being unhealthy, there's nothing worse. And when you're getting people out of that, it's a great service. And
Yeah.
as much as, again, like I like to be cynical, but I feel like I need to pat CrossFit on the back and say, you're doing a wonderful thing. I mean, and that's what I noticed of you, that this was like almost like a passion project. Like this was your love. You went and did the other thing. You made your living somewhere else and were successful, and you came back and went, it's like you came into and bought Cheers. This is a bar I hang out in. This is what I want. This is what I want to do. And you've done it since the beginning, having your own gym, which I think was every guy's dream. Like I feel like in your 20s, you want to own a bar. In your 30s and 40s, you want to own a gym.
Yeah. You're right. I mean, I think if I could do anything, like I would be doing this. There's no. I don't believe right now there's another chapter for me in life professionally. There might be, but I don't think there is one. I think this is what I want to do. Like this is, for me, this is the pinnacle of what I want to be doing. It's it's a mission I'm completely aligned with. It's a community, I'm kind of deeply, boy, I'm taking you far away from cynicism, sorry, but I'm deeply honored to be a part of. It's a massive challenge and stretch for me in a lot of ways. And there's just unlimited upside. We have, there are millions of people around the world who have had their lives changed by CrossFit. But, as I've kind of gone on the record, my goal is 100 million lives transformed by CrossFit, over the coming 20, 30 years. How the hell are we going to do that? Well, geez, I don't know. But I am highly confident that, 1% of the world's population, by the time we get there, right, when there are 10 billion people, I want to have 100 million lives transformed by CrossFit. I'm highly confident that CrossFit is really well suited to at least 1% of the population. And that we'll make the world a better place, than not just make our communities better and individuals better, but that's where I have to set the bar for myself.
But so you owned an affiliate kind of as a hobby, right? Correct, or was it?
It was. I'll tell you what it really was. If I'm honest, it was a way to align myself with what was really important to me, because I was spending my days in the world of advertising technology, which was just never a passion of mine. It was an intellectual challenge, and I love the culture, and it was fun to play this game where you're dancing with elephants like Amazon and Facebook and Google and trying to survive and all that kind of stuff. So there was a lot of satisfaction in it and learning in it, but it had zero alignment with what I thought was important, right? But when I got an opportunity to say, like everyone wants to be healthier and happier and higher performing. And when I met CrossFit 12 years ago, it's like, how do I immerse myself in this as much as possible? And so that's why I own the affiliate. So it was more than a hobby. It was right away. It was like a labor of love.
So I'm not doing a gotcha here. I've talked to some affiliate owners that have said that you're making tremendous strides with them right now. Like the attention they're getting, and they're very appreciative. But how do you relate to them? Being that some of these guys, most affiliate owners, not most, I don't know how many or what percentage, but a lot of them, this is their lifeblood. This is how they do it. They make their living with this. And you being a guy this was a hobby and just something that you loved, and it was your passion project. How do you relate to them saying, we're going to make you money. We're going to make you profitable.
Yeah. Well, I have something I have a kind of a model that I use, a thought process, which is called the model of stakeholder success, which I guess I kind of started using it and codified it for myself after my company got acquired, because if you're a CEO and then your company gets acquired, the rules change, and a lot of people spend time confused and fighting, like, hey, I used to make decisions and now I don't get to make them, or it used to be that we did this and now we have to do Y, or I don't even know what we're supposed to do right now, and they drive themselves crazy. So I kind of came up with this model and then codified it when I was teaching a class at University of Colorado last year, right before and into COVID. And the notion, it kind of plays in here. So it's called the stakeholder model of success. And the idea is, you as a person, as a business owner, whatever, you get to define who your stakeholders are. You get to decide who are the most important stakeholders to me, right? And then what your job then is to figure out what's most important to them, because you don't get to decide what's most important to them. So I get to decide, on this podcast, for example, Eddie, I can decide who's the most important stakeholder here. Is it Eddie? Is it his audience? Is it somebody else? Once I decide that for myself, because I get to decide that, then I've got to go, if it's Eddie versus the audience, I got to figure out what's important to that person, and they may not always tell me. So the way I've thought about it is, like, when I was more actively involved in helping Melissa lead the gym, I really encourage us to go, like, who are our key stakeholders? Well, it's our coaches and it's our members primarily. And so, like, what do we have to do for them? That's exactly what affiliate owners need to do, right? What do we need to do to build a great gym? Now, you could argue that we were less focused on the cost side because we didn't have to make our livings with the gym, which is absolutely true. But like, what I do know how to do is really focus on making it a great experience for your members and your coaches, right? And if you do that, and you're thoughtful about understanding economics and finances and all that, which I realize are new to a lot of our affiliate owners, and we've got to help them more with that than we have historically, then we're going to be on the right path. And I am highly confident that affiliate owners can make a very good living with CrossFit. There are many who do, and there are many who don't yet. And let's take COVID aside, because that's, obviously that's a massive blip, or blip isn't even a fair term, but that's a massive inflection point that is fortunately subsiding in most of the world right now. But we will, as we kind of get better and better at our jobs leading CrossFit overall, we will do a better and better job of helping affiliates, both from each other on a peer basis and centrally from us, learn best practices and tools and techniques and systems and processes that will make them more profitable. But the way that's going to happen is by doing a better job for their members and retaining them longer and recruiting them better and having more impact on their lives and making their coaches happier. I know of, I'm sure you probably do too, some CrossFit gyms that have been around, say, for 10, 15 years that were the motherlode of new gyms starting. And part of it was a tribute to the gym that they were able to do that. Part of it was, frankly, a reaction to the gym because they weren't able to give the right growth paths or the right environment to coaches. And there are ways to do this better. And it's not as much to be prescriptive and say this is the only way to do it or you must do it. But if you want help, we have a kind of a slogan in our affiliate group now, which is tools over rules, right? We're going to try to minimize the number of rules. There will always be some rules for what you must do as an affiliate, but we're really trying to dramatically increase the number of tools that we make available to help you do a better job at creating value for your members and for your coaches, and if there are other stakeholders, for them as well.
That sounds a little bit like the kind of mentality of the guy that the CEO of Whole Foods, of giving them the tools to go ahead and run their own bit, like the managers and everybody that runs Whole Foods to do it themselves rather than, and I like that mentality too. That's the way they run teaching in Scandinavia, and they tell the teachers, this is your company, run it and do it,
right? Yeah.
And not here are all these rules that you're going to follow and do it by our regiment, and just be successful at it. You be successful and you'll stick around forever, and it makes people work harder. Hey, I want to talk to you about supplements. When I use that term, we're all in the CrossFit world, and we all are using supplements of some kind. If you're like me and you're as discerning as I am, I look for the most quality, best ingredients, most researched, most certified, and I found it. I found it with Thorne. They are the Rolls-Royce, the Lamborghini, the just the best of the best. And, if you're looking to excel at your next CrossFit competition or just optimize your workouts and feel better doing it, then discover how Thorne helps athletes from every background reach their potential. Through personalized scientific wellness, Thorne enables athletes to perform their best by addressing performance issues through testing, database solutions, and premium supplements. I can't emphasize this enough. They've got all the certifications. They've got the most comprehensive line of NSF certified for sport products. Now you're thinking, what's NSF? You need to look into that, because if you're a competitive CrossFitter, that is the stuff you want to take. You never want to endanger yourself, be at risk that you're going to test positive ever for any kind of performance-enhancing drug. Thorne is unquestionably the leader in quality and in motivation in sports nutrition. Don't trust your body to anything less. I mean, we're talking, you guys eat the best foods, you work out, you're as elite as possible, and there's nothing more elite than Thorne. So choose a supplement brand that has extensive third-party testing, highest levels of certification recognized in pro sports, and it is now the official nutritional supplement partner of CrossFit. This was very coincidental. We've been talking with Thorne for a while. I guess CrossFit has also. They have put it together. We've put it together. It's kismet, everybody. You're not going to find this kind of discount out there anywhere, but I am offering it now through CrossFit's premier partnership. All members, okay, of this show, you listen to this show, you're going to get a 20% discount on all Thorne's health solutions. That's 20% off. Visit Thorne, THORNE.com/U/WODcast to learn more. That is a very weird URL. I want you to write that down. Ready? It's Thorne, THORNE.com/U/WODcast. You're going to get 20% off. They've got everything. I do their creatine. I do their Moravia. I think it's pronounced Moravia. It's basically curcumin, but it's their patent. It's the best on the market. It's the safest. You got to research your supplements, because some have lead in them and some will give you, you can get kidney stones. But Thorne is the top of the line, always sourced from like the best places and the most quality ingredients. So you want to go this route. You want their vitamin D, you want their immune bundle. They've got so many different products for so many different things, and it's the one place you can go and just trust that you're being taken care of. And you don't have to do the research, because they've done it all for you, okay? So check them out again. That's Thorne.com, Thorne.com, THORNE.com/U/WODcast. You're going to get 20% off if you do it at our exclusive WODcast storefront. Okay, so our WODcast storefront, 20% off. That is Thorne, THORNE.com/U/WODcast. You're not going to get that discount anywhere else. And I'm telling you, best products anywhere when it comes to supplements. I know you are pressed for time. You are the busiest man in the world. Is that tough coming from you were in not a private company, but a public company, but now you're in a company that you're running that you've got all these eyes on you, like the affiliates just watching it. You have to be so political. Is it tough with cancel culture? I mean, coming with the last guy going due to cancel culture, isn't it? I mean, that part of the microscope, I'm feeling it as a comedian, because they're even coming after us.
Right. Yeah.
Badly. And I'm like, I thought we were supposed to be the fuck ups. I'm supposed to be the one that's what we are. And now you're canceling us for being. So it just must be a minefield that you have to navigate through on a regular basis.
Well, I'll tell you, that part is, when you're leading a business, and there were, many more employees in my last business than there are at CrossFit right now. So, you realize that the things that you say will be amplified, and so you need to be really thoughtful about it. So I guess I learned a bit of that. But to your point, there was no one care. When you're running a SaaS technology business, the average consumer, there aren't millions of people who care what you say. This role clearly has a lot more scrutiny. I've never been known for being politically correct, or I can be ready, fire, aim with my words and so on. So I've tried to be more thoughtful, but the most important to me rather than, not offending people as the priority, is to speak my truth and be authentic. And hopefully that comes across. I get things wrong all the time. I try to learn from them. I try to, admit it when I do. And I hope that as people see a track record over time, they will, forgive some transgressions and say, look, this guy's human, and he fucks up once in a while, or maybe more often than we would like, but he gets some stuff right too, and his heart's in the right place. And as I said, most importantly, he's authentic, so we can trust what he says. It's actually what he believes, not what what the words his handlers have put in his mouth.
I think you're giving the public the benefit of the doubt, because
well, maybe.
In my experience, you can do everything right. The second you slip, they're all over you. And even if you don't, they'll make it up. I didn't find out from you, what was the athletic background that gave, look, you're a damn good CrossFitter, and it usually comes from something like wrestling or something back there in your past. You'll go, oh yeah, well, I was Olympic weightlifting at 16. What was it?
I was not a standout athletically. I did some stuff. I played soccer. I ran track for a while. Played rugby for a while. Played a lot of racquetball growing up. In college, played like intramural football But I would say I was never a standout athletically, nor am I a standout in CrossFit, by the way. But I think I was a pretty good generalist. So I was like fast runner for somebody who didn't do track, whatever. The thing that I was a standout in.
Gym class hero.
You want to hear something pretty lame that I was good at?
Yeah.
The standing broad jump, and I still am. So a lot of like explosiveness. So I have a pretty high box jump for my age and size, and I can still do a standing broad jump with the best of them.
What's your box jump? That's the only thing I'm good at. Maybe we'll go up against each other.
Man, I don't even know. Tell me what yours is, and I'll add an inch to it.
I think I did 54.
Yeah, definitely not that high.
But that was years ago.
I think I've done like, I want to say I've done like 40 in a workout, not like a ton, but like 5 per round kind of thing. Not rebounding or anything, but taking my time. I believe I've done over 48, but I don't think I've done 54.
I haven't done it in a while, and I also I think it's the hip mobility that I have from hurdling. I don't have the greatest vertical, but I can get my knees up higher, and I think that, but it's funny, it's one of my only things that I can do that is I'm good at in CrossFit. And
yeah, well, that's like I'm saying, it's pretty lame. But I was always the guy who, I love mountain biking too. As I said, I think I'm a decent skier now just because I've done it so much. But I think it's much more, I always loved working out.
Yeah.
Other people would work out to do the sport. I always, like, for me, workout always was kind of the sport a little bit.
Sure.
And then it became, I'm like, oh my, when I found CrossFit, I'm like, oh my God, this is the sport of fitness. Like, where has this been my whole life, I really did feel that way. Like, a lot of my best friendships, frankly, from the time I was like 10 years old, like going back that far, were around working out. I kind of fell naturally into that versus saying, oh my God, for 20 years, I was playing soccer and I missed that camaraderie. It was like, no, my camaraderie was always working out with buddies.
All right. I think you're being humble, though. I think you're probably pretty good athlete. And what amazes me is that you've been able to, grad school, great job, all this stuff, 4 children. I have 2. I can't. I'm drowning. You have 4 kids, and you've accomplished all this. How do you do it?
Well, I think it's a question. I can be pretty disciplined about stuff. I mean, I am as ADD or more so than the next person, right? Truly, like, I really am. I'm not just saying that, but I can be pretty disciplined and pretty focused when I have my mind to something. And so I cut things out of my life. Like, as an example, I went to Michigan, where, every Michigan alum, like, wears it on their sleeve. Mm-hmm. Once I got out of college, I completely stopped following Michigan sports, and then shortly thereafter stopped following any sports. I don't own a TV. I don't read the paper, very much, or look at a lot of news sites online. Like, I don't get, like, not many people do these days, but I don't get like magazines and stuff like that. Like, I do what's important to me, and working out is important to me. playing music is super important to me. Reading is important to me, like reading books and stuff. And then, obviously various social things and friendships and travel and so on. But I think you just pick what's important to you. And I try not to fritter away at my time. I'm, gotten better and better at saying no. I'm a person who starts from yes. So I tend to say yes when people ask things, but increasingly, I'll say no about various things. An example would be today, we got approached on a pretty interesting initiative that Apple approached us on, and I won't get into details on it. Great person who's a CrossFitter who was involved in it, and I just listen, I'm I want to say yes to this, but the answer's, this was in my head, my internal monologue was, this is a pass for us. It's going to take a bunch of time from the org and from me, and we're just not going to do it. So I think a lot of it is just deciding what's important and saying no to the things that aren't.
You want to go heli skiing in Alaska?
Yeah.
We'll go to Haines. I have a trip planned.
I told my ex-wife probably 7 or 8 years ago. I said I want to go on this heli ski trip with a buddy of mine. I had never done it before. She's like, you get so much skiing already. I said, yeah, but it's not heli skiing.
Right. No one understands.
And I said, there's only so many days I'm going to have in 3 feet of powder the rest of my life, and I'd like to ensure there are a few more every year.
Yep.
So, I think that I've never had 2 real heli trips in a year. I had a trip and then a single day 2 years ago. And I think this coming winter, I'm ramping up to 2 full-on heli trips.
Well, I had one day, got to be friends with a guy named Jeff Olson, who's going to be on the podcast, I think next week or the week after. He was 10th at Lillehammer in the downhill. And we got to be friends 20 years ago in New York City when I lived there. And he was coming there to work in finance. And he calls me one day and he's like, hey, putting together a heli ski trip. You want to go? And I was like, sure. And he's like, yeah, it's just me and the boys. I'm like, who's going? He's like, me, Tommy Moe, Bodie might come, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, wait. I said, these are all pro skiers, real Olympic, medalist. And he goes, I go, no. And he goes, no, man, I've skied with you. You'll do great. And he goes, we want a comedian. We want you just to make us laugh, and you'll be fun on the trip. And I forget what happened that I didn't get to do the trip, but I will do it again. And I will go with them, and you're invited. We need a CEO. Last question.
That sounds good.
How are you going to be?
Okay.
How are you going to be? You've got a big legacy to fill. The Glassman was a larger than life character, and do you feel like there's a shadow, or do you don't give a shit? You're just going to do what you do.
Well, I think about those things, but I guess. At my best, I'm just playing my own game. I'm not worrying about that. Greg was an incredible visionary, and this is when I talked to him about it and really was trying to convince him that I was the right person, or at least a reasonable approach to taking the company forward. They're the right leaders for different phases in an organization's life cycle. I've seen that over time. It was time for me to leave when I left my last job, and I told Oracle, I sold my company to Oracle, and I told Oracle that at some point you turn the reins over to the person who's the right creative inspiration for the next step. And so I'm not remotely trying to replace Greg. I would be a pale imitation. At best, you're going to be not quite as good as the person you're trying to replace. Right. So I have I have my own vision, but ultimately, the goal, as I said, is to have 100 million lives transformed by CrossFit. That's my North Star principle. It's not, I'm not gauging success based on our financial statements or, other things that might be a distraction. It doesn't mean we don't care about finances. We're a company. Of course we do. We have investors. But, I'm really clear on what we're trying to achieve. And the approach is very different probably than someone else would take. But I'm going to play my own game, and hopefully it'll be of benefit and of service to the community.
Well, I appreciate your time. I can say from just a guy who's got his ear to the ground and talks to a lot of different people in the business that everybody's really happy with what you're doing, and we appreciate it. And we went from being the persona non gratis podcast to CrossFit to now we're talking to the CEO, And we
That's the other thing is I'm carrying no bag. I always tell people I'm carrying no baggage from the past. It doesn't mean I'm going to make time for everybody. I can't. But like I believe I believe relationships can be redeemed just like other things. And so you're definitely not persona non grata.
No, and I love how you take on the health, the happiness, and performance thing that you talk about, and the games is included, health's included. It can encompass all of them. I just want to thank you for doing the show. I know your time
Pleasure.
is, you're such a busy guy, and to step out and talk to the fans, that's great. And good luck with everything.
Thanks.
Hope to see you again.
Okay, thanks for having me.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.